Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, folks, here we go on this TGIF Friday morning, and what an active morning it's been so far. Of course, we were tracking severe weather moving across the area as we went through the morning, including one possible tornado just northeast of Mineral Wells this morning. Not confirmed yet, but there was a little bit of damage. Also a 71-mile-per-hour wind gust confirmed up around the Decatur area. The good news is, as that activity moved into the Metroplex, it really began the weekend. We did have some warnings here in the Metroplex, but right now no confirmed damage, and it did appear as though that line of activity really had a fairly significant weakening trend as it moved in. So I want to catch you up on those details, give you the very latest, and of course I'm eyeballing very carefully that weekend forecast coming up as well. But first of all, this is your Friday. And again, you can see as we go through the afternoon, even though it's cloudy out there now, we're basically ending the rain chances this morning. We will transition to sunshine as we go through the afternoon, and we will be talking about daytime temperatures in the 70s. I went ahead and put this map on. It's really hard to see. I get it, these little value numbers, but this is based off of actual data coming in, rainfall totals here, right? Not necessarily radar estimates, but again, you can see some locations from Mineral Wells and especially up towards the Gainesville area, inch to right around an inch and a half of rain in the rain gauge this morning. Here locally in the Metroplex, about a half an inch over in Tarrant County on the Fort Worth side of town, about just a little over 3/10 at DFW, and less at Dallas Love Field, just right around a quarter of an inch. These will still fluctuate some as the data comes in through the morning, but again, for some folks, this was a pretty decent rain. And again, obviously for our eastern counties, we will continue to be adding on to the totals. The reason for that, well, we still have active weather moving through our eastern counties. Now, no longer severe, no longer any severe thunderstorm warnings in effect around the area. In fact, even the severe thunderstorm watch that was in effect for the Metroplex earlier this morning has now been canceled. So we'll continue to track this. Again, a couple of severe storms as this activity continues to push off to the east. Not impossible, but the overall threat of severe weather locally in North Texas is beginning to ease on down. But it all has to do with this big upper level storm trough. You can see the big dip here. And then again, where you're seeing the area of green, that is the rising motion. Obviously, the rising motion came right across North Texas. And as this system continues to push off to the east, it will also push that cold front on through our area as well. But I can tell you, even though our risk of severe weather locally is beginning to wane, there is a very high end risk. In fact, most likely there's going to be a severe weather outbreak in the deep south as we go through the day today, with even tornadoes possible, possibly strong tornadoes possible over there. Again, here locally in North Texas, we'll continue to taper off this risk of severe weather fairly quickly as we go through the morning. And again, as we transition into the afternoon, overall, even the rain chance will be ending around the area. So here's what the model's doing. You can see as we go through the morning, there goes the activity, right? It continues to push off to the east, and essentially by about noon, 1 p.m. in the afternoon, there it goes. Basically, it's clearing out. We'll continue to clear the skies. Like I mentioned, we'll transition to generally sunny skies, generally clear as we go through tonight, and then as we, well, get into tomorrow, Saturday, talking about the weekend, generally sunny heading into Saturday as well. So there goes that weather maker. Look at that big dip pulling off there to the east fairly quickly, and then as we get into the weekend, we will have one other system coming through. I don't think there's going to be enough moisture for this system to work with Sunday into Monday. We'll track that carefully this time of year. And then I tell you what, we've got one more powerhouse storm system coming on the west coast. And as we get into next week, talking about Thursday, potentially into Friday, we're going to have another pretty significant weather maker coming out. And the way it looks right now, we're going to need to track that fairly carefully going forward as well. Otherwise, as we go through the day today, again, you can see generally out there, temperatures will be in the 70s for daytime highs. There's that ending rain chance as we go through the afternoon. Talking about your Friday evening here, temperatures will be easing down through the 60s, but again, this evening we will be dry. So any kind of Friday evening plans, not an overall bad looking evening, that's for sure. Overnight lows down into the 50s, so we will call it a chillier night. And then as we start your Saturday, after that chilly start to the morning, we do rebound with plentiful sunny skies as we go through the afternoon with daytime highs in the 70s. So there's your weekend. Again, not a bad looking weekend, more in the way of sun as we get into Saturday. A possible rain chance late Sunday into Monday. We'll track that carefully. And then, like I mentioned, the following Thursday and Friday, tracking that as well.